Hello, this is Aaron R. Ryan from Slaughterhouse Slumber Party, and you are watching Mr. Tony of the Dead.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Mr. Tony of the Dead here, and I have another movie review for everybody out there. And this review is going to be a little more special than usual because this one is going out to a subscriber, someone that subscribed to me named Lee, and this is for him. He picked this movie because he recently purchased one of my shirts from my merch shop, which this isn't going to be all the time, it's only going to be for a limited amount of time, but he purchased this shirt from my merch store, and if you purchase one you get to pick a movie and I'll review it. Now I'm a little behind on this review, so I'm going to get right to it, but again, thank you Lee very much for your support to the channel and everything you do for the channel. I really appreciate that. And I will say, this might be a little spoilerish. I'm going to try not to spoil everything, but I really want to talk about some things with this movie that I really don't want to hold back on. Nothing super spoilish, but yet it's going to be, it's not going to be spoiler free. I'm going to say that right now. So you've been warned. But Wrong Turn, this is the new one, remake, revision, whatever you want to call it. It came out in 2021, this year, or whenever you watch, depends on when you're watching it, but 2021. It's directed by Mike P. Nelson, and the movie is about this group of friends who are going on this this like adventure with each other. They're going to the Appalachian Trail. They're going to hike it and everything and see what it has to offer. They're going to do that. So they go do that, and the movie actually starts with the father coming to the town that she was last in, and because it's been like 6 weeks since his daughter, which is like the main character in the group of friends, since he was in contact with her. And now obviously it's like, where is she? She hasn't checked in, so he's nervous and everything, so he's going to see if anybody saw her, or he could find any answers out. And the whole town's a little weird, a little strange. People are like, oh, I haven't seen them, and the town sheriff, like, he is like one of those, the way the lady put it, like, it's a small town, whatever gets him to be able to go fishing, he doesn't want to bother with like trying to find anything or any crime. Like you could see later on, he's a piece of shit. Basically, he's a piece of shit, and you'll see like another scene with him later on that he's really just a piece of shit. In the cast we have Jen. She is played by Charlotte Vega, and then her boyfriend is Darius, who's played by Adane Bradley. And then there is Mila, who's played by Emma Dumont, who's another one of the friends. Adam is Dylan McTee, and there's Gary, Vardane Aurora, and Luis, who is Adrian Favela. And Gary and Luis are a couple, a gay couple, and everybody's a couple in this. And then Mila and Adam are together, and Jen and Darius are together. And Darius is black, and they're going into this town. They're like very, they lost the Civil War basically, and they kind of like are trying to be a little cautious because they kind of like are a small town, and people don't like, they're probably not up with the times. They don't like gays and black people, so they're trying to be a little cautious. Adam though has kind of a mouth on him. He was drinking, he gets a little drunk in the bar. I think the bar was called the Deer and Beer or something like that, and some of the locals are giving him problems, but Jen kind of gives it back to the guy because he looks at Adam's like saying like how they're backwoods, scumbags and all that kind of stuff, and the guy's like at them like, oh, you're millennials, and you don't have no shit and all that. And then she comes out and says about how her boyfriend actually builds houses and stuff, and helps communities, and then this girl's a doctor. Everybody has something that's helping the world, so the guy kind of like is like, well, I'll see you around kind of thing. But anyway, they go and they hunt, they go and they into the Appalachian Trail, and there's like the lady at the inn said, stay on the path, you'll be fine. And of course they want to go off the trail, off the path that they're supposed to stay on, because Darius has been looking up the history of the place and everything, and there's some things they want to see. And they went off the trail a few times. They found this really beautiful waterfall. They found this cliff that had, like, you could see for miles. Very beautiful things, that. But now he wants to take them to this like old Civil War. I can't remember. It's like some kind of a building or something that's supposed to be intact. And they're like, we found the waterfall, we found the cliff, let's go do this. And they go off the trail. Jen wasn't like, she was resistant, and she's like, no, we should stay on the path. So he's like, well, we found these other two. So she's like, okay. So then they went, and on the way they kind of get lost. They can't find this thing, and they think they're being watched by people. In fact, Jen does see somebody while they're walking. They're off off track. The other girl almost falls off the cliff. It's kind of like throwing these signs out to them, like, we shouldn't be doing this. We don't know. We're out walking for hours. We shouldn't be doing this. And then, like, a log falls down, like, from top of the hill, and a big log, and they run. Now, they're running down, and then they fall. All of them fall down. Now, this never happened to me before, and I don't know, maybe in the moment you don't think, but instead of running forward, wouldn't you run to the side and get out of the way of the tree? Like, they had enough time to run out of the way, but they didn't. They didn't think enough, and hopefully I never have to come to that where I like, oh, I should have ran that way. But unfortunately, the log hits one of the guys. He falls and hits in a tree, and he sees the log coming. He's just like, smack, he gets killed. And you don't see the impact, but you see the after impact, and it's pretty crazy looking. Like, his face is like smashed, his teeth are, like, it's just crazy. Like, it's almost like his skull was going to come out of his head, like out of the front of his face. It was crazy looking. And so they're like, what do we do? What do we do? So they leave the body there, and they go off. And in the woods, though, while they're walking away, they're like, we don't want to leave him there. Jen sees somebody outside their tent. They decide to, like, stay, put in the tent. And they come across this, like, this building, and it said that it was the foundation. And this is like the start of it, like this community. And then you get into the story more later on with that. But while they're sleeping at night, Jen sees, like, it starts lightning out, this big lightning storm, and she sees a flash of somebody outside their tent, but she thought maybe it was a tree. They wake up the next morning, their cell phones are all gone, and they're like, what's going on? And here they get trapped. One guy gets trapped around his ankle and gets pulled into this, like, pit, and they can't find him. And later on, then they start walking, they find this, like, shed, and then they see these two guys carrying something, and here it's their friend that just got pulled into the trap not too long ago. So they go and attack them, and these people aren't speaking English or anything, and they're dressed like, it's like this, like, kind of like his camouflage, but it's like big, like, woolly, kind of like full of grass cover for camouflage, and their masks are like these animal skulls. The other guy has like a 3 skull thing on his face, and they're like, put my friend down, put the friend down. The other ones are talking, like, doing this language nobody knows what it is. And the friend gets out, kills one of them. The other thing, the other guy that had the skull mask on takes off. And the whole point of them, like, leaving their camp and going off and in search was, and right after they found out their cell phones were gone, the other girl, Mila, was gone. So they went searching for her, and she's not answering. They're yelling and everything. And then, like I said, he gets trapped and all that kind of stuff. And right after this guy gets killed, because they say they took and killed Mila, because they're like, there's people watching us. They took her, they killed her. They were going to kill me. They turn around, there she is, and she's fine, and she couldn't yell back because she saw the guys. And then, not long after that, they end up finding more of these people, and things happen to other characters. But the people they're called the Foundation, take them back to their their campground. It's not even a camp, it's community. They take them back to this community that's in the Appalachian Mountains, and they put them on trial for this guy that Adam killed, that smashed him over the head with this log. And here, basically what happened was they really misinterpreted what they were trying to do with them. They were actually, he was knocked out cold. They were taking him to the road to put him there, to leave him, to like get him out of here. But you know, their first instinct was he's going to kill me and everything. So they're put on trial, and you know, basically, did he kill the person? Is he, you know, is he going to have to die? And then what happens to them and everything? And you know, I'm going on and on about this because I'm kind of telling, you know, as I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to say it, and I'm really giving some spoilers here. There were things about this movie that I really liked, though, and there were a few things that I didn't like. And again, I know I've already spoiled a lot, so the hell with it right about now. But when they find the foundation and they're put on trial for murder, right? Okay, I get it. He did murder the guy. They didn't speak English. He didn't speak what they were saying, and it was like a miscommunication, obviously. And you know, he killed him. And they're like, no, it was self-defense. You know, we didn't know and everything. And this is like a community. He's like, because the main guy is like, who does speak English. Some of them do speak English then, but he's like, you know, we've been up here for a long time. Our families are up here. And the whole thing with the foundation is that back when the Civil War was going to start, it was like before the Civil War, it was like, it was 1859 or 1849. I can't remember the exact year it was, but on that plaque that they found on that like old building, it was the foundation. Like basically like a dozen families from around that area wanted to, you know, go off and start their community away from everything, away from the fighting, the war, and everything like that. And then and they thought this was like basically like the end, you know, the end of everything. And when everything is all done in fighting, they're going to rise up and they're going to be the foundation. Like they're going to be the founding, you know, kind of like the founding fathers in a way. Like they're going to bring up a community how they want it to. And they basically thought they were going to, like, in a way, not really take over, but like sort of, you know, because they're going to be the ones to survive and save what they have. And they basically thought everything was going to be done for after this war. Basically like a World War III kind of a situation, but to them it was like the end. And what happened was, obviously, it didn't end everything. You know, we know about history of Civil War, and these people, they just stayed in the mountains and kept their community going. So they're living by the old ways. You know, they live off the land. There's no diseases. Everybody gets along with everybody. Nobody has something that this person doesn't have. You know, they all work as one, and they're very, you know, they're a strong community, and this goes from there. Some of their things might seem very barbaric, but, and which is what she said, like before they're gonna kill a guy, like, this is barbaric. And he had like this big speech about it, like everybody, you know, where you're from is like about war, and they hate their own kind and all that kind of stuff, while they're, you know, everybody here like you know, is family. And he kind of has a point, but yet he's about to like kill this person with a log, you know, and smash his brains in. And because she had a chance to tell the truth if he killed this other guy or not. And then I guess, I don't know what would have happened to them, maybe let go or something. But because she lied, they're going to be put into this darkness. And I think the darkness is probably worse than getting your head bashed in. Because your head gets bashed in, you're done, you're dead. This darkness, I thought, okay, they're just going to put them in darkness and they're going to stay in there forever, and they're not going to see anything or hear anything, whatever, or, you know, it's just whatever. Here they take like a red hot poker and burn your eyes out. And I believe I don't know if they cut off your tongue. I don't think they do. But they burn your eyes out, and they put you in this place. So you're literally, it's already dark in there, but you're blind. You can't see anything. Even if your eyes adjust to the dark, you're not going to see anything. And they put them in there, and basically everybody, there's like a bunch of people deep in this cave. And they're kind of like crazy because they go, you know, they can't see anything. They're feeling the wall, they feel what's going on, but like they can't do anything about it. Like they can't get out, nothing. And I guess once in a while somebody will come out and get them and do whatever they want with them, but like it's pretty crazy. Like it's very, very scary. And one of their friends actually gets his eyes burned out and everything because he like tried to run, and It's scary. It's scary what happens. But again, like while all this is going on, the father's at home wondering where his daughter is, and just thinking she's having a good time up in these mountains. And the it goes from there. It's like, what are we gonna do with these two? She kind of basically she saves them. I'm gonna save a little bit of this movie for you, but she saves them, and by telling them what they have to offer, basically. And again, it goes to where the father's in this town looking for him, and one person saw them, and but everybody kind of just like wants them to get out of the town. It's kind of like, in a way, it's like like the Blair Witch. Like everybody heard about the Blair Witch and they don't want to go in the woods, but they're trying to warn people not to go in the woods. It's kind of one of those things. But you know, or like even Hills Have Eyes. Like that one guy is like, he knows they're there, and they know he's there, and he just kind of like stays to himself and whatever. But it's I mean, to be honest, I liked the movie. I will say that I liked the movie. I thought it had me on the edge of my seat, especially with things that are going to happen. You think like, what would happen if that was me in that situation? It was pretty intense. Especially with getting lost in the woods, because they're basically like, we're lost, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, we don't know where we are. That's pretty scary. Like being lost in like the Appalachian Mountains, that's got to be fucking terrifying. And like I said, I liked the movie. There were things I liked about it. I thought the hunting was cool. Brutal in a way too. I don't know. It reminded me of the movie Plank Face in a way. And I'm not saying they stole the idea or anything, but maybe they saw Plank Face, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But what I didn't like about this movie, well, first off, they're on trial for murder of this person, and there's no mention of this fucking log that got thrown at them obviously by them, because the log just boom, just out of nowhere starts falling at them. There's no mention of that they were trying to get murdered, right? But I guess if you ask them, and if they actually did bring it up, they would probably say, well, it was a warning to get out of the woods. But yet they killed one of theirs. So how else would they react after that, thinking, okay, these people are trying to kill us, they want us out of here? He reacted how I would have probably reacted and tried to bash his brains in. The guy had me tied, He thought they were going to kill me or eat me or something. Or eat him, I should say. So that's how I would have reacted as well. And that log coming down, and no question about it or anything, it's like, okay, that wasn't fair to me. Like, I thought that wasn't fair to them, I should say, because no mention of it. No mention of it again after that at all, which kind of bothered me. Like, you think somebody would be like, who threw the fucking log at us? But nothing like that. So that kind of bothered me. Then, these people are primitive, not primitive, but they're like, kept themselves and everything. But in the beginning, you see the one girl who's the main guy's, like the main leader's daughter. She's in town selling bracelets with this little girl named Ruthie. And it's like, you're self-sufficient up there. You don't need money. Why is she selling these down there? That makes no sense to me. You don't need money. You live off the land. You have no diseases. Why are you coming into town? That doesn't make any sense to me. You never see them come back into town again, And then, so that made no sense to me. And then when they're in the village, and you see like them come out, they have like the big skull mask on that. They take them off, and the guy's like, he has a beard, but it's nice and cut. It's nice and trimmed. His hair is nice and trimmed as well. He's got like a more of a modern haircut. The other guy has a haircut. There's the one guy that was part of like the people that are the jury, the judges, I guess you could call them. He kind of looked like he was more primitive. His hair was weird. He kind of looking, he looked like he might have some scars. And then like maybe the girl that was selling the bracelets, like her hair was sort of normal, but it looked like kind of ratty at the same time. But yet there was a bunch of people that had normal haircuts, as if like they've been going into town and getting their hair cut. And I thought, well, if you're so self-sufficient and you're worried, you're saying you have no disease up there and everything. What's your need to go into town? What is your need for a haircut? And if they did cut their hair, wouldn't it just be like they cut it off with a knife and then whatever? Like, you mean to tell me they have barbers up there, or something like that? Like, that made no sense to me. You know, if they are up with the times, which apparently they are, because of what happens at the end, which again makes no sense to me. The ending was cool, but like, I don't know. I just didn't really believe, you know. Again, like, this guy comes out and he's got his nice trim beard. Like, my beard you know, I think my beard needs a trim. His beard is nice and trimmed and it looks really nice. His hair is really nice. And he speaks English. This one doesn't speak English. That one does. It's like, who's teaching them English? You know, and who, or I'll just say at the end, who taught them how to drive? They have an RV at the end, and you know what happens at the end. They have an RV. Who taught them how to drive? Who gave them the clothes they're wearing? You know, I don't know. Maybe it was clothes they took off of people that came from the Appalachians. I don't know. They never established that. But if they're so self-sufficient, what do they need to go into town to sell bracelets for? What are they using the money for? They grow their food, they hunt their food, they have water. I don't understand the need to go into town. Like, I don't know. Like, there was just like some parts of the movie that didn't make sense to me, and the whole literally throwing the log out of the story, not a mention of it again, doesn't make sense to me. Like, somebody should have brought that log up, like, you killed one of ours. Nobody said a thing. Nobody fucking said a thing. I don't know. But people I've been seeing like the movie, they don't like the movie. I like it. I would watch it. I'd buy it, to be honest. I would buy it because I really like that whole what do you do kind of situation, you know. It's nothing like the first Wrong Turn. Like, I should say the original Wrong Turn. The original one was like inbred rednecks that lived in the woods, and there was like a few of them, and they were all like kind of weird and shit. That was a great movie. That was a great. I'll be honest, I never saw any other Wrong Turn movie, but I really liked the first one. This, instead of redneck inbreds, you have a community of people that just kind of stayed in the woods after a couple, you know, like couple hundred years, or I mean a couple hundred years, almost 200 years. It's not really 200 years, but you know, since the 1850s, they're still in the woods and they're self-sufficient and everything, and they don't look inbred or anything. They just look like cavemen and cave women kind of thing. But yet, I don't know. They none of them are you know, they don't look inbred. They don't, you know. And if I guess with 12 families going up there and the breeding, you know, I guess maybe it's spread out enough that, like, you know, they're not maybe with the same people. I don't know. Not everybody talked either, so I don't know. But I did like the movie. I will say that I did like the movie, but those parts I didn't care for. You know, they really got to me. Because at the end of the movie, I'm like asking myself those things, like, well, what the fuck? What was the point of that? But it was brutal at times. They showed like the head smashing, which was pretty cool looking. There's like a trap, like some of the traps where they fall into. It's like, it's really meant for animals. It's not meant for people. But you know, it's pretty brutal. One thing is though, one person fell into a trap with spikes, and it was through them, like, you know, coming through them, and then like one came up and shot the arrow in their head at them, but it doesn't show it hit them in their head. It just shows the arrow sticking. Like, there's no name. You only see the person's head. You just see the arrow coming out, and it's like, you know, you're showing all that, but you didn't show that. I don't know. Maybe there'll be like an unrated cut or something where it's going to be even more brutal. But it was an interesting movie. I'm glad I got to finally see it. so many people were asking me to watch it, and then when Lee bought the shirt, which I'm very thankful for again, he purposely made me watch this movie, and I'm glad I got to see it. I sat right through it. It's almost 2 hours long, but I think it's worth a watch, at least once, and get your own opinion. Like I said, some people don't like it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty decent, but I had some problems with it. But I wouldn't say I could see past them, but it's not enough to make me not want to watch it again. Let's say that. Or buy it. I would definitely buy this one. Not full price. Maybe Black Friday where it's like 10 bucks. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you again, Lee, for buying the shirt. I hope this review was good enough for you. I really did like watching the movie, and I'm glad I got to finally see it. But if anybody else is interested in buying a t-shirt or other things in my merch store, the link is below in the description box on YouTube. Just go in there, buy it, whatever. It helps support me. I get so much of the profit from the shirt, so it's worth it if you want to support me and everything. And plus you get a t-shirt or a tote bag or a sticker even. There's stickers down there. But yeah, please go and support my channel, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and like I said, check out that merch store. If you do buy a t-shirt, let me know, and show me some proof that you did, and then I'll review something that you want. And this is going to be for a limited time. I don't know how long, but maybe till summertime I'll have this going on. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody watching. Thank you again, Lee, for the purchase and always supporting my channel. I appreciate that. And that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and talk to you later. Bye.